Theo Henderson from Unhoused. This intro highlights the seriousness of episode 23. A recent survey shows, or recent research shows, that there is an uptick of unemployed people due to COVID-19. There will be a possibility of 45% of people will become unhoused.
I made a mistake these last years, dealing with the businesses, I still got little resources left here, little something still there. Let's work this thing out, let's build it together. He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna come out here and talk to us because he know we ain't gonna go for that BS that he come out here and talking about. He know that we ain't gonna go for that yang talk that he be talking about, right? He know he gotta keep it real with us, right? Because he already knows, right, that he's a coward, and for the last 16 years, right, this man, so here it is, a mayor, right, that the last 4 years, for 2 years, for 2 terms, he's been city council president. That's 8 years, right? And then this is his 2nd term as mayor. So that's like 16 years going on. This man has been in a position of power in the city of Los Angeles, right? And when you look around the state of the city, what do we see right now? We see LAPD year after year, right, continue to lead the nation in shooting unarmed people of color, particularly black people, particularly homeless people. Right? He ain't gonna come out here and talk about that. We see every year, the homeless crisis is going up and up and up. LA leads the nation in homelessness. Right? He ain't gonna come out here and talk about our $1 billion that we gave you, and we ain't got for 45 units of housing in almost 4 years. He don't want to come out here and talk about that. None of that. He ain't gonna come out here and talk about incarceration, how LA continually leads the nation in incarceration, right? And all this is going down on his watch, right? It's going to be 16 years when this cat's finally through. And all this, the last 14 years, have been nothing but criminalization for us, right? So today, it's time for us to stand up and say, no more, no more. This cat has got to go, right? And basically, it's been us, because we allowed this guy to come out here and treat us like this and talk like this, because the business people wouldn't have went for this for the last 14 years. You think that'll let this guy bring their businesses down the last 14 years? Hell no, he'd have been out this building right here, right? And we should have been done snatched him out of this house, his marriage mansion, and ran him down the street. Get the hell out of here. You ain't our mayor no more. We Adam or somebody to be the mayor, or Victoria, anybody be the mayor, because folks out here, you come out here because you got the love in your heart. You want to do something. You want to get involved. You want to help the people. That's why people's out here 8 o'clock in the morning on Mother's Day to do something, because we fed up, right? But now I'm gonna tell you, we allowed this guy to be out here and to do this stuff. So it's going to take us to stop it. When he come out here, it's going to take us to shut him down. We got to shut down the city. So that means today, you come out here, but you need to get involved. We need to join some organizations. You need to join LA Can, join DSA, join No Olympics, join something, right? Because by you joining one of them groups, you join us all, because we all in the same game together. We all in the same fight together, right? To liberate ourselves, to liberate LA, free LA. Right, and so that's what it is today. Not only when we get involved in these organizations, we got to start coming down. We got to start shutting it down, because we die. It's 3 a day. 3 homeless people are dying a day in this city, right? And if it's anybody else, 3 a day was dying. They've been gonna shut it down, just like they shut it down for the COVID virus. They have to shut it down for this. They declared a national emergency. If it was anything else, they'd have had FEMA, the National Guards, anything flying in, coming in to save the city, put it on lockdown. But when it's us that's dying, they don't give a damn. So it's going to take us to save us. It's going to take us to come down here and shut it down. When he come out of there, we need to shut his ass down. We need to shut down the whole city. It's going to take us to do that. All power to the people.
All power to the people. Shit, motherfucker.
This is Theo Henderson from We the Unhoused. I have one of the veterans of the housing and humanitarian right movement. Here is General Dogon. And General Dogon will tell us a little bit about what's going on.
So today we just out here at the mayor's mansion on Mother's Day, basically to let them know that 16 years of failure this man has been in city council. Well, I call it city council. 8 years as a city council president. This is his second term as mayor. When you look at the state of the city that's going on right now, you see that he has totally devastated the city of Los Angeles. All the conditions, LAPD leading the nation, the shooting, the homeless crisis, the highest in the nation, the incarceration, all that stuff falls up under his watch, right? And it's us that has allowed this man for the last 14 years to run around here and just lie to us and manipulate us, right, and to do what he do. So we came here today to say that his time is up, right, that no more are we going to allow this man to come out here, you know what I'm saying, and treat us like this, man. We got to shut him down, you know what I'm saying. We got to shut the city down, you know. We got to come out here today, you know, and we got to organize ourselves because it's us, understand me, that's taking the backlash from this. You know,
I have a question, General. You mentioned this earlier, that the Mayor Garcettis has had 16 years of this. What could we have done that's differently? I've noticed the Business Improvement District and all of these lobbyists or the capitalists have always banded around them and just basically weaponized the police. What could we have done that's different?
So when his first year as a city council president, right, that's when we already knew, like in 2011, I think it was, when the city voted, they had a vote to see if they was going to increase the rent citywide 6%, 3% for the actual rent and 3% for utilities, right there. And this man said, you know, at several meetings he came to that we was organized, the LA Housing Collective, and he promised us that he was going to be the swing vote, that he was going to be the one that killed the whole motion. Well, he lied to us, you know what I'm saying? The day of the vote, it was his vote that actually, understand me, that brung the damn rent increase, you know, right? And so it caused a melee right there on the floor of city council. I was arrested, matter of fact, and you know, I was charged with 11 counts of assault on the LAPD.
Really?
And so they was trying to give me a 3-strike case. Right there. They tried to strike me out, man. I was in jail facing a life in prison. And I ended up getting out of the case and ended up with only 120 days. But right then, we should have kept foot to the fire. We should have kept pushing it and letting them know that this ain't finna happen, right? And because here we are, almost 10 years later, you know, understand me, we look and we see, understand me, what state of the condition the city is in. So right then, from when he first became city council president, you know what I'm saying, we should have brung it to him right then, and we wouldn't be here today.
My question, another question I have is that, was he responsible for the Safer Streets initiative? In my first podcast, we talked about this a little bit. Was he responsible, or did he allow it to, even if he was
one of the players in the game, most definitely, with Jones and stuff like that.
Tell us for the audience about it.
He was a city council member. So in 2005, the city was dinged with a federal lawsuit around Jones, called Jones versus the city of Los Angeles, where Mr. Jones was a homeless man that was continually arrested. Every time he had a medical problem, or every time he was stopped arrest, the cops would arrest him for violating 4118D, which is a municipal that say you can't sit, sleep, or lie on public sidewalk. And so it was an 8th Amendment violation, cruel to unusual punishment, right? And the city was dinged with that, and the federal court told them to make amends. So the amends was they would allow people to sleep on the streets from 9 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. So the city had no other choice but to go in and approve that and allow people to sleep on the streets, because we had proved that all the shelters were full, the missions was full. They didn't have no place for people to go, and people had no place to go, right? So they had no other choice but to allow people to sleep on the streets until they built 1,200 units of permanent support housing. And this is in 2005. Here we are going into 2020, and the city has yet to meet that federal obligations of building 1,200 units of permanent support housing in the city of Los Angeles. Now with Triple H housing, they will reach that, but that ain't only 45 units from Triple H housing that came in thus far, right? So they still, you know, adhere to Jones, which was in 2005. But Jones, the city's response to Jones was just months later, right? They released what they call a Safer Cities initiative in 2006, which brought 110 extra cops to Skid Row, making it the most police community, not only in America, but second in the world.
Let me interject here, because we were on the point of police. Have you seen about the unhoused man that was attacked by police officer Frank Hernandez?
No, I haven't seen that.
Frank Hernandez was brutally beaten on camera while someone had called and said he was burglarizing the homes, which found out was false. And the police officer Frank Hernandez, spat into the man's face and was beating him. Do you have it? They had it on camera. so because he's unhoused. So do you think that this is one of the things? What should be done about those kind of behaviors?
Most definitely. That's cruel, unusual punishment. I mean, cops.
Okay.
So most definitely they should be addressed. Those cops should be fired, and they should be Jackie Lacey suppressed charges on them. This is what we've been trying to tell Jackie Lacey. You know, since she been a DA. You know, she need to start filing charges on cops. You know, she have not been filing charges on cops, and cops have been having it their way. They've been running around here thinking that they fearless, that they ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, because Jackie Lacey ain't gonna file charges on them. And so this is the response you get. You know, when you got a city attorney, you know what I mean, that support whatever you do. You know, they done shot people, and one cop got drunk and ran into a family of 3 on the freeway. The car blew up. It caught on fire. The family died. The cop tried to sneak away. It was some people that caught him on the freeway and helped him till the cops come. They didn't even know he was a cop. All right. And then next day, Jackie Lacey let him out of jail. No charges filed. So until stuff like this is addressed, we always gonna have people, you know, cops getting out here thinking, you know what I mean, that they can do this and get away with it. And a lot of them is just hiding behind the city of Los Angeles. That's all they doing. They cowards, right? If you like, we do cop watch in our community. I don't need no gun and no mace and all that. And we go out and patrol our community every day, right? These are cowards, you know what I mean? Because if you's a real person, you don't need all that badge. You don't need the city to protect and control your community. They just joining 10,000 other people so that they can hide behind the city and do what they do.
I have a question too, because I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he always says this conversation in response to unhoused people. Particularly, as an example, at Alpine Recreation Center, there was like a slew of cops, and he said, well, all it takes is one to go in and do something. But I always have a rejoinder is when there was that kid that was thrown off the roof and this person was housed, there was not a slew of cops piling up in people's homes. Why do people feel that unhoused people need to be overly policed?
That's a good one, dude. A lot of folks believe that a lot of crime and stuff like that comes from homeless people that sleep on the street. But when you look at statistics, actually, like Skid Row, you know what I mean? Skid Row, I mean, of course, when you drive down Skid Row, it looks tough, but actually, it's a paper tiger. Skid Row had the lowest crime out of all 22 LAPD divisions. Skid Row had the lowest crime, but we had the highest number of enforcement and cops walking around. You can't compare the crime that's going on around the city in gang neighborhoods and all the stuff around there compared to a homeless person sleeping on the sidewalk, you know, stuff like that. I mean, they have crimes of what they call quality of life, you know what I mean? Which is survival stuff, like pissing on the sidewalk, you know what I mean? Drinking in public, right? Crossing the street, you know what I mean, illegally and stuff like that, right? Those are all quality of life violations, which are all small misdemeanors and stuff like that, right? And now you can't compare what is called Part 1 crimes, which are felony crimes that'll get you in the penitentiary, that are going on in South Central, Compton, and Watts, right? But yet we see more cops in our community where homeless people at. Why? Because more homeless people tend to hang around areas where there's money at, like downtown areas, restaurants, stuff like that, because they panhandle and stuff like that, right? And so the businesses and stuff like that tend more to push people out, push people around, and there's more police around those areas to attack and move the homeless people out of the way, just so that the businesses, you know what I mean, can have free reign, you know what I mean, so that nobody, you know, is messing them coming in and out of the store. So that's what it's all about. The police protecting the businesses. The police never protect people, residents, because they don't feel that we worth protecting, and our property they don't protect because they feel our property ain't worth nothing. You know what I mean? And so what they do is they protect the rich. And this is a private suburb. They move homeless people away from stores and stuff like that. So far, this is all I've been able to find.
This is Theo Henderson from Weedy Unhoused, and I thank you all for listening. May we again need enlightenment of understanding. Sorry.
All right.
Hey Theo, let me get you real quick since we interviewed.
is Lupe Sanchez. I am a member of the LA Tenants Union. We came out here today in South Central supporting one of our own community members. He was being evicted. Earlier today, he was facing threats and harassment from his landlord. JJ put out, he sent out a letter to his landlord, right, letting them know that he couldn't pay rent. And he did as he's supposed to according to the executive orders now in place. And yet landlord said they didn't care. JJ, couldn't stay in his house. And so community members showed up and we were able to put pressure on the landlord and LAPD because they were here assisting with the illegal eviction. We put pressure on them and thankfully JJ is now able to stay inside his home. But it took a whole community effort to do that because the landlords know that what they were doing was unlawful. During COVID-19, we've seen an uptick in folks that are unable to pay rent. The Los Angeles Tenants Union is organizing a campaign. We are striking right now. For folks that aren't able to pay rent, they can't pay it, right? And so they can't be evicted. For folks that can't pay rent, we're telling you don't pay rent. Let's stand in solidarity with our neighbors because with more of us on strike, it's a stronger message. It sends a stronger message to those in charge because they have the power to pass rent cancellation. And so we need to put the pressure on them because those in our community that are the most vulnerable, right? People that were struggling already prior to COVID-19, they were living paycheck to paycheck or just day by day. They aren't gonna have 2 or 3 months worth of rent saved up to pay in 12 months from now. And so that is not enough. That is why the LA Tenants Union is advocating for rent cancellation because our most vulnerable right now, those who are not getting unemployment, no stimulus check, no benefits whatsoever, they don't know what they're gonna do. And so when this all ends, they can be evicted. So we're saying go on rent strike and let's support our neighbors.
First name in the things is Johnny, John. It was a situation category of things about paying, how you say, about the rent wise and things, a different word and things. I didn't have it, you know what I'm saying? Difference is that this paperwork right here was where I was going to get to the management to get the situation straightened out. Until my proper funds come, then I could have sat back and took care of it on that behalf. Okay? So now things, I sat back. A couple people had sat back and spoke up for me and things. Sat back and kind of like, how you say, spoke up on the whole situation category. You know what I'm saying? With a little bit of communication and things. Yeah, decent respect to communication. I was just kind of hurt because they was talking about just putting me out there, all my stuff, out here on the streets and stuff. But they, it was but I don't want to go to another. I would just stay here, right here at 9316 South Figueroa, because a lot of my, business and stuff was mostly here, than some other place. See what I'm saying? And this month they're supposed to sit back and do a lot of things from the governor-wise and things towards the way. And I don't want to sit back and put myself in situation category. I'll be way over somewhere else. And then when my personal stuff come through, as legal paperwork and documents or whatever, however, whenever, with all with respect and things towards the way. Respective understanding, communication, and things towards the way and things. I don't want to just put myself in a situation category by giving up because I almost did that today. Confidence. I kind of like try to hold on to my confidence and faith. Confidence and faith. I'm not talking about faith. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about my faith. Most of my blessings come ahead and Father up above. You know what I'm saying? I count my blessings every day. I don't count my blessings like 5 days out of the week. I count my blessings 7 days out of the week. That's what Heavenly Father above say. And it's right there in the Bible. It says it. You know what I'm saying? Even beyond your enemies and things towards the way, still set back and show, when they say show respective consideration and things towards the way. Everyone understand what I'm saying. It's been so long. I'm in my mid 50s and things right now. I'm not exactly 50. 50. I'm exactly like in my early middle 50s. You know, I ain't got up to no 60s or 70s, not yet. You know, well, it's the best man if I'm above that I'm here still on earth. You know, but I have been here to this facility area and things for like 2 years. You know, I came through here 2018. At the time, it was different management. It wasn't the same management. Everything like now, things are like different now. You know, it done turned over. It done turned over 2-3 times. You know, and today was a awkward situation category. Main towards the way to speak on that behalf to sit back to get everything situated and straightened out. Because I didn't have it. I didn't have, you know, I mean, I got my paperwork, I showed it, you know, and it kind of like hurt me and things because that was something that I'm not used to, you know. I mean, I take care of my rent every day. I mean, you know, I take care of my rent like every month, you know, but I scuffle every month too, you know what I'm saying? I put in, you know, work from different places, different times, and did things like that. So I to have a little bit of money and things in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? But other than that and thing, when it comes down to my rent, towards when things, you know, I want to make sure my rent is paid all the way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just give some or certain amount at this time, day and time, and then all of a sudden something else awkward and things happen, like example of stuff happened today. I mean, I didn't want to, you know, but I had to sit back and I had to speak up. So, I mean, I got rights too. Spoke about the contract. Everybody signed the contract when you first get here. I mean, 2018 until now. You know, I mean, you got, you know, look here, you got 2 years from now. I mean, you got 2 years later, you know, that I have been here ever since 2018. You know what I'm saying? And it's 2020 now, and then all of a sudden, this is the first time this ever happened to me. Now, I never put myself in that situation or category, because I never had to sit back and worry about, you know, being in any kind of situation category, late on the rent and this and that and all that, and stuff like that. My rent is supposed to be paid on the 3rd. Okay? Now, when we sat back, we made out this paperwork. You know, I wanted to say, you know, I started to go and get a loan. You know, from my bank. You know, from my, you know what I'm saying. The loan don't come from each individual towards the way. That comes from my account. See what I'm saying? And I have to sit back and pay that back. That's insurance wise, right? I had to pay that back. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of, you know, that kind of hurt, and that kind of like, mine is a straight positive thing, you know, and they get theirs automatic. They get theirs the very, very first time. Situation category and thing was this month, that's 500. That 500 was gone. You understand what I'm saying? I need to bring this to attention. That 500 was gone because I got certain amount through the mail, through the check wise on straight deposit thing like that, and $500 of that money was gone. Because of the loan that I have set back and put myself in the situation category, because I want to sit back and take care of the rent. You know, right now today and things, I don't know what's going to be the results of things goes away when everybody leaves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but I got blessed to get back in. You know, and they saying something between now and Wednesday to see what's going on. You know, I don't want to sit back and end up moving somewhere towards the way. Right. Then look, then all of a sudden, my business papers and all that stuff come. You know, even if they make a mistake somewhere towards the way, and some come here, you know, and it's like for last, you know, a couple of days, that was just a little a misled thing on that day and time for all I was concerned. That was straight out misled. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to sit back and put me out, man. You know, that was cool, man. You know, and I've been, you know, here for the last 2 years, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit hurts. I mean, excuse me, but that hurts, man. Because I just couldn't believe what reality was towards the way great straight up that that's folks who's going to put me out like that. Right. I mean, I can understand they got other places and stuff like that. All my business is here. It ain't over there at the other place, Willowbird or whatever, how you know. But I can understand, you know, the whole situation. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody over there from Avenue E. I don't want to put myself in no kind of other crossfire or misled things towards the way. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden they come down there putting handcuffs and all that stuff on me. For what? What are you putting handcuffs and stuff on me for? I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't got violent. I haven't disrespected no one. I haven't got violent. I haven't sat back and tried to push nobody around. I ain't sat back. I ain't tried to trick. I ain't just trying to take nothing from no one or anything like that. I just wanted everything to get on the stable situation category. And without the community thing, sitting back and trying to help me, towards the way and things, I probably would have been over there with Williver, or I probably would have sat back and made a decision and things and would just said, forget about Williver, give me all my stuff. I'll take it, throw it in the stores or whatever, whatever. And I'm just going to sit back and let it go now if I would have did it like that. But, hey, the community like, man, what is you doing, man? My right, constitutional right, they can't just put you out like that. So that was the whole situation category on that. We have, I was kind of glad that all my community workers, everybody said that stuff on, tenant, workers and things, kind of like, they wanted to help me out, man, and I didn't know what else to say or do, man. What else was I supposed to do? What else was I supposed to say or do? But I'm kind of glad I didn't give up. And then, but I'm like, I thought about it, I'm like, well, why should I do that thing when I haven't done anything wrong? I haven't disrespected no one. I haven't bullied. I haven't did none of that. The only thing it was about the rent thing. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like confusion of things towards me. It kind of hurt.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Episode 23 discussed a lot of things, but the most important thing is the urgency of the situation that the mayor chooses to selectively ignore. His response to our current die-in was to put barriers there to highlight and dramatize the seriousness of the situation. The situation is serious for many of our unhoused, as well as recently going to become unhoused people. So join us for episode 23 of We Unhoused. It's that serious. If you like this podcast, please subscribe to Patreon. And remember, we're all in this together in different degrees, but we're in the same boat now.